GC 90.7's Studio A on the campus of Gulf Coast State College. RAPLINE with Emily Blay.
A group of local doctors are volunteering their time to help the underinsured here in our area. Today, RAPLINE is on location. We're at the Avicenna Free Clinic here in Panama City, just off of 15th Street. And joining me is Dr. Ayman Abuela. He is the medical director of the Avicenna Clinic. And Dr. Abuela, thanks so much for inviting us down here.
Thank you for having me today.
So tell us a little bit about the clinic.
You know, the clinic, Avicenna Clinic, started 2011. And as you know, we work in the medical field, so we know that many patients here in Bay County doesn't have insurance. And they don't have any way to have access to medical care. So we came up with the idea to pay back to the community, and here we are.
Now, I understand that you're seeing hundreds, if not even thousands of patients.
Yeah, we do. Last year we did see probably 1,800 visits alone, and we've been seeing hundreds and thousands of patients since we opened. So yeah, we've been seeing a lot of patients with no insurance.
And what percentage would you say of the population here in Bay County falls under that criteria?
20% of people here in Bay County doesn't have medical insurance. So if you can translate this to numbers, probably 30,000 of people doesn't have insurance.
And so I was talking with some people at the health department, and they were saying that diabesity, or the combination of diabetes and obesity, is really a theme across Bay County. Are you seeing that here in the clinic?
Yeah, we see a lot of patients with diabetes, with obesity, which is one of the chronic conditions that we treat here in town. And we work hand with the health department. So we do the medical part and they do the education part over there.
So now let's talk about the doctors that are volunteering here, volunteering their time. You said that there's several specialties.
Mainly the internal medicine, primary care, and also we do have subspecialties as well. We do have neurology clinic, and this is the only neurology clinic that see patients for free here in town. We just have the rheumatology clinic as well, Dr. Aga. We do have cardiology, Gulf Coast also group comes here every month to see the patient.
So rheumatology,
cardiology, and neurology, plus the internal medicine and primary care.
Okay. And so is there a criteria as far as if someone listening or watching thinks they might qualify, or is there a criteria?
Yeah, of course, there's a criteria for that. And I mean, we do the financial screening first, see if the patient qualified or not, before we be eligible to see the physician.
And we are on location here at the Avicenna Free Clinic in Panama City, just off of 15th Street, and talking with Dr. Ayman Abuela. He is the medical director here. Dr. Abuela, tell us a little bit about the story behind the name Avicenna.
Yeah, Avicenna is one of the Muslim physician and physicist. He born 1980 after surgery, and he became well respected in the field of medicine and physics at the age 21. He wrote many books in different field of science, mainly of the medicine, and one of the most famous book is called the Law of Medicine, and been used in Europe for many years. So we named the clinic after his name.
Wonderful. Okay, and tell me a little bit about the Affordable Health Care Act. Is that impacting the patients at all, or how do you see that?
Affordable Care Act help the people who does have income, who can pay the premium to get the But most of our patients that we see here, they don't have insurance, so they don't qualify for Affordable Care Act program. So I don't think this affects those people whatsoever.
So what do you think that our listeners and our viewers might find surprising about the Avicenna Clinic?
I mean, how we can see how many lives we have saved, how many conditions we treated, and they can check on the Facebook. We have very nice interview from Channel 7 with one of the two patients. That one of them diagnosed with prostate cancer and was diagnosed here in clinic. So there's a lot of inspiring stories behind this work.
So it must be very gratifying for those of you that volunteer your time.
Exactly right.
And tell me a little bit more about your hours of operation.
We work, since we have the nurse practitioners, so we do work now every day from 1 to 5. The physician volunteer after hours from 6 to 8, Monday and Wednesday. We do have a neurology clinic every other Friday from 3 to 5, and also cardiology clinic every Thursday.
And is there anything else that you would like our viewers and our listeners to know about the clinic?
I mean, the clinic, you know, we established Islamic Understanding Institute 2009, and one of the main objectives of the IUI is to help and serve the community. And we saw that the best benefit and the best service we can help the community is the medical service. That's why we came up with the Avicenna Clinic. So we'd like to everyone to volunteer with time, with money, and because mainly we get the money from local community and from the grant. So.
And that's what I was going to ask you too, is approximately, how much does it take financially to run this clinic every year, and where does the funding come from?
At least 120,000 a year. And this goes for the nurse practitioner, salaries, the nurse, the coordinator. So and most of the money comes from the Bay Foundation grant. We get that every year. Hopefully we can get this year as well.
From Bay County.
For Bay County, yeah, right, for Bay Foundation, and also from the local community.
Okay, and if people would like more information, is there some resources available?
As I mentioned, you can check on the Facebook, Avicenna Clinic, or the phone number 215-8200.
And thanks so much for taking time out of your day and giving us this tour and talking to us about the clinic.
Thank you for having me today.
And again, we are on location, RAPLINE here, a service of Gulf Coast State College and GC 90.7, on location at the Avicenna Free Clinic in Panama City, and a talk there with Dr. Ayman Abuela, the medical director of the clinic. Also with us today is Mr. Medhat El-Meski. He is an architect and urban designer here in our area, and one of the integral parts of the IUI, or the Islamic Understanding Institute. And Mr. El-Meski, tell us what the IUI is and the relationship to the clinic.
Okay, let me tell you the story. Actually, in 2007, a group of professionals get together and really they decided to establish Islamic Understanding Institute. Avicenna Clinic established in 2009, okay, not 2009, but IUI established 2007. And the main objective is really to have an organization actually can clarify to the citizen here our background or about Islamic religion, and also about education and about different things, cultures, and to participate in the society. So they got together in 2007, they established the IUI, and the major objective of IUI is based on four objectives. One is to disseminate knowledge, to establish workshops like what we're doing this week about teen pregnancy prevention. We did one also last year about mental health and how this affects the society, and we did one before actually about Syrian relief and what was going on in the Syria camps and things like that. So we try to give a good idea about education for the society, for the organization here. Also to participate with other organizations such as Gulf Coast State College. We did with them 3 or 4 workshops. We did with the school district also some of the work. So that's one objective. The second objective is to build bridges between us and Islamic, Islamic understanding and culture, and between other people of the book, like Christian and Jewish and other denomination. So this is very important, and we're trying to work on that right now. The third objective is to establish social activity, such as civic activity. For instance, like Avicenna Clinic. We established this in 2009, and it's, as you know, and Dr. Ayman talked about it, we're serving at least until now 1,500 people or more. And we hold some social dinners and things like that with some other groups. We invite speakers from outside to speak in these events. The other thing is to also highlight in the culture of the Islamic, our Islamic heritage, like art, architecture, planning. In fact, some of the plans, which is done in Alice Beach, actually. It's a town built on Moroccan planning, which is actually based on some kind of old heritage of the Islamic new town planning and something like that, yeah.
And so that you were mentioning Alice Beach out on 30A.
Right, yeah. Actually, it's done as a part of Moroccan and Mexican. And it's very nice in a way. They took the idea of the courtyard and took the idea of the fountain inside and how you connect to the sky and how it's a beautiful, beautiful thing. And that's what actually we try to bring this culture, bring this. Of course, I don't participate in Alice Beach. I don't do anything for it, but I'm just mentioning that actually.
As an example. So as you're talking about, meshing the cultures, what do you think our viewers and our listeners might find surprising about maybe Islamic art or architecture?
What you say, Anthony?
About the art. You were mentioning art and architecture.
Actually, we did held an exhibit in the Visual Arts Center 2 years ago about calligraphy. It was very beautiful, and we have a good number of people visited the calligraphy, and IUI actually was sponsoring that exhibit actually. Islamic architecture, like I did a design for some mosques in Panama City in Atlanta, one of the largest one actually, and you can see really a good domes and minarets and arches, and some of this stuff you can see it here in the clinic, which we try to do some touch on it, but that's very, very small amount of. I mean, really, if you want to go, you need to visit the mosque in Atlanta to see the good Islamic architecture over there. Yeah.
The mosque in Atlanta.
Yeah.
And anything else you want our listeners and viewers to go away with today? Is there a website or Facebook page where they can get more information on the IUI? I think that is. It would be great if we can, get this to the Facebook, and actually, I understand that you will be giving us the program to put in IUI Facebook and the website and things like that. So this will help a lot to be able to understand. But I like to say really one thing is. One of the main objectives or purpose of the IUI here and Avicenna Clinic is to build the trust between us and between the society. And actually, if you build the trust, because people sometimes they see the news, they see whatever going over there, and really they start to judge. All the communities in the United States this way, but that is really, Muslim communities are very, very participating in the society here. They are very professional. They are trying to look for the benefit of the society, try to help.
We're trying to solve this, find solutions for the issues here, and that's one of the main objectives. That to really, as a group, is to participate in the society and we are a part of the society. We are not. We are a citizen. We are a part. This is our community. This is our country, and any problem exists in our country, it's actually our duty to solve it or to participate in solution, such as the program which we're putting this week. Is not. We are not. Not a community which is. Our society which is actually focusing themselves only. No, that is totally wrong, because one of the thing I like to mention it, which is in the Quran mentioned, that is God actually addressing the Prophet, saying that is, we send you as a mercy for mankind, not as a mercy for Muslims. Okay, so as a mankind means that is we are part of the whole humanity, and we are part to participate and to help, and you will find us helping in any way we can. And I think I know our community here very well, and they are really doing a good job to help us and to give us all the benefit or all the help they can.
Well, Mr. Almeski, thanks for taking time to talk to us.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Also joining me today is licensed clinical social worker Iman El-Kadi. And Ms. El-Kadi, thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you.
So tell us your connection with the Avicenna Clinic.
I don't have a real connection with the clinic, but I do have a connection with the founding of the clinic. It was actually my husband's dream to have something like this, and he was a physician and did practice in Panama City for almost 20 years, and so the people who decided to have it actually based a lot of their philosophy on my husband's, and unfortunately we've lost him, but his work goes on.
That's wonderful. Tell me your husband's name.
Ahmed El-Kadi. Yeah.
And what did he practice?
He was a surgeon.
A surgeon here in Panama City.
He started out as a surgeon and then switched over to holistic medicine and trying to use herbal remedies and more natural in conjunction with the traditional medicine. Yeah.
And you also are working to help people, licensed clinical social worker.
Yes, I try. That's my goal. Sometimes it works very well and sometimes it doesn't. But yes, I work mostly with women and families and quite a few adolescents. And my goal is really family preservation or family enhancement, helping people make their families better places for themselves and for their children.
And so you were saying earlier that a lot of people that come to see you are dealing with anxiety and a feeling of not belonging.
Especially the young people, and part of it probably comes from what's been happening in society. We've lost a lot of the extended family. People move around a lot, and the support isn't there anymore. And it all lies with the parents, which is a tremendous burden, because in many cases both parents are working or they have to work. And then the children grow up not having that grounding that they really need in order to flourish.
So can you share with us an example of that?
Okay, so I've had clients who are completely, I mean, they don't even know whether they have aunts and uncles. Some of them, I ask them about their grandparents, well, they've never met them, or they're totally cut off. And sometimes it's due to divorce, it's sometimes due to relocation, and somehow people aren't really making the effort to keep the connection. And it is hard work, especially nowadays. You have to make time for it. But I feel that the more time that parents are able to give to their children, the more grounded they'll be, and the more they'll feel that they have a sense of direction and a good feeling of self-worth. I met a young man recently who's a professional, and he was getting married. And he asked me, is it fair if I ask my fiancée to sacrifice her career for a few years until we raise our children? And I said, you know, you really shouldn't think about it as a sacrifice. Look at it as an investment in the future. He really liked that, and he said, wow, I wouldn't have thought of putting it that way, but you're right, that it is an investment. And it's not only a future of our own kids, but the future of the whole of society, because we depend on each other as human beings. We cannot live in isolation. And that's part of our problem nowadays, is that so many people don't even know their neighbors. They don't have time to get to know their neighbors. They don't have time to meet their friends. And it makes it very difficult for everyone.
And I love what you just said, and I think it's worth repeating. Mm-hmm. You mentioned, you know, time or not having a career for a period of time is not a sacrifice, it's an investment.
Mm-hmm. And I have a real example of that. Many years ago when my kids were young, my dentist, I used to go regularly, and the hygienist, whom I really liked, wasn't there one day. So I said, what happened to her? And they said, well, she's not working anymore. And they wouldn't tell me why, of course, because that's confidential. So then I met her at the store one day, and I said, what happened? I missed you. She said, well, my children are now teenagers, and I need to be home for them. So I think it's crucial, the first, you know, we always think about the first 5 years of life when our children need us because they're developing. But I think it's also important once they reach that pre-teenage or early teen years, that one of us, a parent, needs to be there for them when they come home from school. And even if they don't want to talk to us, or even, you know, whatever. But at least knowing that someone is there for them is very important.
And just a couple of minutes left here in this edition of RAPLINE, but if there's one thing that a working parent or parents can do to make that investment in their family, what is one thing they can do?
Learn to relax. You can't be perfect, not on the job and not at home, and you're never going to be perfect. So learn to relax and enjoy your children before they're gone.
I think that's a perfect way to end this edition of RAPLINE. Thanks so much for talking to us.
Thank you.
And that is a wrap for this edition of RAPLINE, on location at the Avicenna Free Clinic here in Panama City. And a reminder, if you're thinking of adding a pet to your family, consider the adoption option. I'm Emily Blaze. Thanks for listening and watching, and have a great day.